All right, so this next one is incredibly important. You've been around the idea napkin, looking at who are you, right? What are you offering? Who are you offering it to? Why does that person care? What's your value proposition? This next one on distinctive competencies is a make it or break it for people. And there's a little bit of something to learn here to make sure you've understood it. But generally speaking, once you've got it down, it becomes a key driver of your design. So I just want to talk about it, take through some examples, and help people do a good job of this one.
Yeah, absolutely. But the funny thing about the distinct competencies piece is you see people always making that, the same mistake over and over again is, they come up with an idea and the first person or the first thing that they do is they want to go online and see if anybody else is doing it.
Exactly. Right?
We see, like, I've done it in the past. I know that you've done it, Alex. Like, we go online and we see people take that natural path of they want to go online and see that they don't have competition. Like, that's their thing. Right? Yeah. They want to go online and they're like, hey, you know what? I've come up with this secret that's been brewing in my house for the last 2 years, and this idea, and I've been holding it close, and I know it's a game changer, and I'm ready to do this, so I'm going to go online and check it out. So, one of two things happens. They go online and they see that nobody's doing it, and they're like, yes, I've got 100% of the market. This is going to be amazing, right? Or they're on the other side and they get online and they do a Google search around the idea, and there's 4 or 5 established businesses that are already doing something similar to what they're doing, and they're like, oh, crap.
Right.
Well, guess I'm going to work tomorrow, kind of thing. And
right.
We know from the examples and the experiences and people that we've talked to in the past that they're both not really, really good ways to go about developing an idea properly.
Right, because you can go online and find nothing and still have a crappy idea. And that's not really a good indicator that there's nothing online. And you can go online and find everybody's doing it and still be able to use where you started or what everybody's doing as a great baseline for your design from which to change. And this distinctive competencies piece is key to that. It just helps so much. And I don't know. Do you want to work through the example I always use in workshops and with individual entrepreneurs to help them understand?
Yeah, I think that's a good idea. It'll help people that are watching really, really understand what we're talking about here.
Right. And so when you get that done, you're going to have these key 5 pieces at the top. That's where we're trying to go. And we'll look in the next one at substitutes and alternatives. We'll have those key 5 pieces of your design done. So I'm going to move this guy over now and pull in the hot dogs, because the hot dogs are so key to it. So Mike, you can't see them now. There they are. Right, I cooked up 2 hot dogs just for this, which is awesome because I don't normally eat hot dogs, and they're such a treat when you don't often eat them. So I'm going to eat these right when we're done this little video here for people. But what I do, and the reason I brought these in, is I say to people, okay, look. So imagine you got a room full of people, smart people in here, and you say to them, look, here's the thing. You got a truck, and you can pull in a hot dog stand that you can buy for a few grand, no problem. You got the money, and you can buy all the great hot dogs you can at a really good price and the best buns in the world, and help me make that truly distinctive. So I explain to people, like, how I use it to explain to people. I'll say, so how are we going to do it, right? Who are you? Well, it's you. And we'll gloss over these bits right now. You frame that out. You do the pieces we've talked about. What are you offering? I'm going to offer the best hot dogs on that corner of the street right over there. And it's picked it because it's a busy corner of the street, and they're going to be amazing. Who are you offering it to? Well, everyone who comes by, right? Why does that person care? Because they're hungry. And then I say, okay, what's your distinctive competencies? What are they? Because it's a hot dog stand. It's easy to enter that. Like, barriers to entry are really low. So what are you going to do? And I usually up front will explain to people what's written here on the screen here, that it's got to be valuable to the customer and visible to them, of course. Rare, so valuable and rare. It's got to be superior to those of the competitors, so in some way superior, and costly to imitate. And if you could drop one of these, it would be the superior piece. The costly to imitate is the most important piece, and you can have something that's not superior, but if you've got the costly to imitate locked down. So anyway, I put it out to the audience when I do this, and I say, okay, help me make these hot dogs distinctive, and we go. So what do you think some of the things we hear about are? So I can have my first bite of hot dog while you tell me one.
Let me see here. It's a little afraid. I don't know. Maybe they have a special ketchup or something like that. Like, they've come up with, I don't know, maybe it's mom's home recipe.
Hey, there you go. Okay.
Yeah.
So
maybe they've got a recipe for, with a special kind of bun. I don't know. Maybe, they come up with a gluten-free option that they don't think anybody else can get into.
All right, so I'm going to stop. Let me stop you for a second, because what I would do is I'd say, okay, right on. So let's take one of those, or any of those, actually.
Yeah.
Well, let's take one. So the gluten-free, because that's distinctive, right? In the common day language, use of the word distinctive in our language. So yeah, let's talk about it. We got someone in mind. Well, it changes. Going back, it changes who you're offering it to, right? I'm going to offer it to someone who has a gluten. Okay, that's my thing. And of course, that has a trade-off, because now everybody might go, I don't want gluten-free. I'm not gluten-free. So you lose customers too. But let's say that's where you're going to go. Who are you offering it to? We just said. Why do they care? Because they got to be gluten-free. So that's awesome. Then you go, okay, distinctive competencies. Is it valuable to that person? Yes. Is it rare among solution providers? Well, yeah, on the street right now, it might be rare. Like nobody else is doing that on let's say we were downtown here on 17th Ave. It's hockey season, hockey finals or whatever. So yeah, it would be rare, right? Gluten would be, that's what I did. That's what I changed, because it wasn't rare before. There's hot dog stands everywhere. Now it's rare. Is it superior? Well, it may or may not be superior, but to that customer, maybe it is superior just because of the rarity, right? And is it, importantly, costly to imitate? And that's the one where it falls down. I'd say on any one of those things, superior ketchup, any of those things is, well, if you hit a line and everybody wants your gluten-free dogs, the guy down the street's going to go, wait a minute, you're going to get me some gluten-free dogs tomorrow. So it's not hard. It's not hard or costly for the next guy to imitate, right? Next hot dog guy down there. So sorry you didn't do it. It's not that distinctive, right? And I'll pull it out here. This we'll get into truly scoring later, but the portion of this assessment critique pad that we use, I'll put on the screen here, has 3 criteria. They're merely your competencies, your resources, your competencies are merely common, or they're core, but not distinctive. So you've got core competencies, or they're truly distinctive. So something like that makes it, core competency. Yeah, we got a line, a supplier of gluten-free, we're in good shape. So you might push your way up to core competency, but it's not truly distinctive. And the reason was it's not that hard, costly to imitate. Right? So yeah, I'll add a few to the pile. Like, well, okay, then I'm gonna do, I'm gonna do chili dogs, or I'm gonna have dogs where you can put anything you want on them, or I'm gonna have dogs where, or whatever it might be. Like and so we go through a ton of those usually when I'm doing this. And the reason we're doing this now is to try and help people get there, because the toughest thing is you can come up with lots that's valuable and visible. You can come a lot that's rare when it's first visible. Usually, or sometimes, and often you come up with something that's superior. But again, it's that, how do I get it costly to imitate? Because everybody throws on the table at the beginning. I'm like, yes, but not costly to imitate, right? And they all go, yeah, shoot, it's not. Okay, so what are we going to do? And so then, I mean, what else? How could we get deeper? What do you think? I'm trying to think of what sort of the next line of attack is in that conversation usually. Oh, I know what. I got an idea, Alex. I'm going to make it, an app that goes with it, and you can pre-order your hot dogs from when the game's ending, or if I'm in a corporate context, I can pre-order my hot dogs downtown. So then I go, oh, holy, look what you just did. You changed the who are you, better have some tech people. What are you offering is now a good, like a product, a good, I guess, and a service. You have a an app, right? It's a service for pre-ordering, which is super smart. So it's all good, but let's identify what we did. Who are you offering it to? Well, yeah, that ordering as you leave the game might not work as well as corporate. So I'm going to pivot over there. I'm going to do downtown, and I'm going to allow pre-orders at lunch. And that's what I'm going to do. So they pivot, right? And then why does that person care? Well, they don't want to line up, but they like my dogs because they're otherwise good. But that's my distinctiveness. So they come in and they're like, yeah, look, it's valuable and visible. It's rare. It's superior because of the service. And it's costly for others to imitate, right? I'm like, costlier. But then we have a pretty quick conversation that actually, that's actually not that hard to build that skill. If that was really working for you, the next hot dog guy or gal is going to go and build one of those apps too, or find your supplier, or find another supplier, or get one of the pre-order app designers that's already out there to try and help build this thing out, right? And so they go, yeah, okay. So maybe instead of just I haven't got a sustained competitive advantage, but I've got a competitive advantage now. So
That's right.
it's not going to last, but it's not truly distinctive. So back to this again, it would be core, but I would argue them and say that's not truly distinctive because it's not hard enough to imitate. So what are you going to do? They're like, ah. So they're trying to figure it out, right? And even here somebody would say, well, you can't patent a hot dog, can you? I was like, well, I don't know. And somebody else will joke around, like, or half joke. What about my grandpa's secret recipe? And I'm like, well, the secret part would be hard to imitate, but is it that much better in taste, right? It matters because that means that the idea of it being superior enough to them, it may be hard to imitate, but it doesn't matter, right?
Sure.
And then what else? You go down the list, and in the end, you work this example until somebody says, wait a minute, what if you could get the rights to the football stadium or the soccer stadium or the hockey arena? And then you're like, oh, okay, wait. Because now you have the rights. You have a large and growing group of customers, or perhaps not growing, but large and guaranteed group of customers in that case. And maybe growing if you can get the license to expand from that to the next arena that's owned by the same owners and all that. And no one can imitate it. You have the rights to that arena. Nobody else does.